Alright, guys and gals, let me get all set up here. We're going to paint some Rumbleslam today. Just need to get in here and make sure I can see the chat. Alright. So, I got TTCombat, who I had Lewis on the show. He sent me some Rumbleslam because I thought it was very interesting. And I gotta tell you, the sculpts are pretty daggone good. So here's one of the orcs from the starter set. Very thematic, kind of a pro wrestling theme, and gives me a chance to paint some greenskins, which I don't often get to do. So let's start off with some scale color. We're going to do the 23 Slimer Green, get it shook up. Tomorrow is New Year's, so getting ready for that. Won't be painting for a whole lot today, but I thought I'd get a little bit in. Alright, so the one thing about these fantasy line of scale color is they really do not need to be thinned. At least I have found they're pretty much the perfect consistency for how I like to paint. All right, so let's get started here. We're just gonna layer on some green. So I'm using Redgrass's #2 brush, which I'm a huge fan of. And we are just going to layer on the green. Now, the idea here is not to make these guys, you know, the greatest thing I've ever painted. Main reason I wanted to get this Rumbleslam is I wanted to get a chance to kind of have an easy two-player game for when I go camping. So I get a group of people together twice a year, and we all go camping together. And we play different games. And generally don't do anything like Malifaux or anything like that, just because it takes a lot to drag out there. Though last time we did break Marvel Crisis Protocol. We got a couple games of that in. But I thought that this Rumbleslam would be kind of a perfect game for the campsite. It's just 2 players, it packs small, starter set is slick. And thought it would be perfect for what I want to do. So all I'm doing is layering on the green, giving us just kind of a base coat to start off with. This is that really nice Slimer green from Scale Color. You can see it gives me a really nice cartoonish green, which cartoonish is definitely the direction I'm going to go, because I think the sculpts favor a cartoonish feel to them. Of course, we're doing this over a white base coat, a white prime, and that's going to also help give me kind of that brightness that I'm looking for. This will take probably 2 coats because it's nice and thin, which is fine. That allows me to get a nice smooth coverage, of course. What I'll likely do is once I've kind of blocked in this initial green, I'll probably start working on the details of the face next. Then detail the rest of the skin. The one thing I haven't decided is what color I'm going to do for the leotard, the wrestling outfit he's wearing. I think it's something fun. I've got Carnival. Lewis was kind enough to send me some Carnival. or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Lewis. It was Donald, one of my patrons, sent me Carnival. And I've not had a chance to paint any of those. But between what I've seen on the sculpts from Carnival and what I'm seeing here with these Rumbleslam sculpts, TTCombat's sculptor is not too shabby. I read through the rules. They're clever, definitely very thematic. Definitely reads like it's going to feel like kind of a fantasy take on pro wrestling, which is, of course, the idea behind it. All right, let's get the face all covered here. I'm not going to be too worried about precision. Just want some coverage at this point. And you can see just how thin the paint is. Which is good, even like I said, even though it'll take two coats, it should give me a nice smooth base coat to work from. You see how nice and bright that green is. Go. All right, well, we just have to get hands. And I see he's got gloves on. So we'll just get the fingers. They are fingerless gloves. Hand, and we'll get let's go ahead and get this part of the arm here too. It's kind of neat that he's got little elbow pads on, and so he's got a little bit of flesh between the elbow pad and the fingerless glove. So we'll go ahead and get that. Yes, Donald, he does. Donald just messaged me and asked me if he's got a little gas bubble on his thumb, and he does on the little claw. And honestly, Donald, I noticed it when I opened him up, and not that these, you know, are in great miniatures or anything, but wasn't too concerned about it. I'm not expecting this to be my next masterwork, so I didn't bother with it. There we go. All right, so let's get the other arm, and then we'll start with the second coat. go. There, gives us a nice green. Let's get his legs. Then we're going to go over with a second coat. Get a smoother finish, but nice and thin. A little bit more of the paint on the palette here. So again, I'm using this Slimer green. And I got a little. The buzzing you hear is a paint shaker. It's actually meant for tattooing, but I have found it works really well for paints. It saves on my arm, if you know what I mean. Second coat of that green. Again, just as thin as the last one, but should give us the coverage we want, but also give us a nice, even, not too thick, kind of a satin finish, hopefully. Keep in mind that obviously I'm going to shade, put in shadows, as well as add highlights to it, so really I'm just kind of giving me something, a place to start. Right, that's what the purpose of the base coat is. So again, I'm not too concerned about it being perfect. You see I'm getting sloppy around it. I'm not worried about the teeth and stuff. I'll detail that in just a little bit here. What I'm worried about, what I'm concerned about, is just coverage. I just want a nice green to start working from. And then I can do all my detailing later. I want to make sure that on my first coat I didn't miss any spots, which is super easy to do on any model. Tempted, I think, to go red on the leotard because it's a nice contrast to the green. Really should pop nicely if I do that, so that is likely what I will do. Other option would be to maybe do an orange and a blue, maybe blue on the the leotards themselves, and maybe orange on the gloves. I don't know. All kinds of choices to make. I think I am going to do like a pseudo gold for the skull. Make that like a non-metallic metal gold. But see, that's a real nice green. Though the fantasy line of scale color paints, I don't enjoy nearly as much as their artist paints, their standard 75 paints. They're still damn good paints. Yeah, Donald, you got to watch me on Twitch, not Facebook, man. That's all I can see. I can only see the comments as I'm painting. I can see just comments on the Twitch. Come on over to Twitch, where all the cool kids are hanging out. Donald's hitting me up on Facebook Messenger. That's where I'm seeing his comments. Donald is the one that got me the was generous and got me this sculpts for Carnival. There he is. Yeah, I've got it set up down to multi-stream, so it notifies YouTube, streams to Facebook, YouTube, and to Twitch all at the same time, because I'm fancy. So I didn't see what your comment was, Donald. What do you think? What do you think I should go for the color on the leotard? Do you like the red just for the contrast? Do you like the idea of doing kind of oranges and blues? Hey, F3 Ark, how are you? Thanks for coming by. I'd like to know what you think too. What do you think I should do for the leotard? Should I do like red or blue? Oh, purple's an interesting idea. Purple is an interesting idea. Yeah, if I went like a green and a purple and then like an orangish red maybe. Interesting. I tend to like purples a little bit more with yellows, but here's the thing. This is why purple might not be a bad idea, is that I'm going to be going up and the highest highlights in this are going to be very yellow. Because of the brightness of this green. So purple might work, actually. So let's pencil in that I'm going to try to do some purple. I like that idea, and I love painting purple anyway. So, and what I can do is I can go darker on the purple and really make that skin nice and bright in comparison, right? So I'm you guys are convincing me. All right, that's good coverage there. So now let's detail up the face a little bit here. Oh, and good point. It's a really good point, is that the gold will be a yellow as well. So we're making a strong case for it. All right, so let's start off. We're going to need some bone and some white. So I'm going to need some white for the eyes, and I'm going to go kind of a bone color for the teeth area. So this is just matte white from Army Painter. It's a white that I like that white. It's not the best white out there, but I like it all right. And I'm going to actually use the GW paint for the bone. So there, you got all 3 different paint lines being used on Homeboy here. I'll probably use GW purples as well, now that we know we're going purple. So this is Xandri Dust, which is what I'm going to do start the teeth with. So you get some of that on my palette. Now these I'm going to have to thin. So especially the Xandri dust. So I'm going to add a little bit of my flow improver that I have just in a bottle here. It's a mixture of flow improver and water. All right, so let's block out. Let's do the easy part. Let's do the teeth first. So now I'm going to switch to the Redgrass 2.0. If you've seen my video on it, you know I'm already a fan, but you literally can paint anything with just these two brushes. They're phenomenal brushes. They've held up nicely. This brush I have used and painted with for 6 some odd months now. Look how nice that point is. Now granted, I wash my brushes and take good care of them, but just phenomenal. And if you look here at the number 2 brush, same thing, just in great condition. So hats off to you guys at Redgrass. These are darn good brushes. All right, let's do the teeth. Let's get them kind of marked off here. I'll end up using a wash to get into those creases on the teeth before I detail them. Because I'm going to want these to be more of a bonish, almost yellowish teeth, which is not necessarily what I would have done if I'm trying to get this light in here. Oh, I ended up moving my camera. Son of a monkey. Trying to get the light in a little bit better shape here. There, that's a little bit better. So like I was saying, I don't want these teeth to be white. I want them to look old and yellow because of orc. So we're going to start off with this Xandri. Okay, I'll let that dry. And then let's do the eyes real quick. I'm going to go get this white. Let's see. Ta-da's. That's good. Let's give them eyeballs. Let's see, what kind of condition is this brown in? I've already got on my palette from yesterday. Might be. All right, let's mix it up with some, I guess, some gray here too. Let's see if that'll give me a color. It might give me an interesting color for the eyeballs. Let's try it. So the key is a vertical. You think you're doing a dot, but you're really doing a vertical line. And you want the top of the eye of the dot to touch the top of the eye, and the bottom to touch the bottom. That's how you prevent the shocked face look. So there we go. Eyeballs done. Let's do the next layer up on the bone. I think I've changed my mind. I don't think I'm going to wash those teeth. Let's see if we can't detail them without a wash. So now I've got just GW's Ushakti. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Screaming Skull. Get that on there. I've already got the white if I want to decide to go up that high. Okay. Alright, let's do teeth. My man's teeth going here. Lighting's alright. Alright. So thin it down, of course. First the bone. start off with the big teeth, leaving some of that Xandri dust there. Do the next step up. That's really not. Let's move my palette camera so you can actually see the paints I'm using. There we go. And here I'm going to leave a little bit of the bone behind. It's going to give those teeth a little bit of depth. Now we're going to try to do a little bit on the individual teeth between the big teeth. Okay, let's bring in a little bit of the white. Let's brighten up this bone color a little bit. Get just the tops there. There we go. All right, so let's do some shading now. Focus on the face to start off with. So I'm going to bring it down with the Fantasy Rift Green. It's number 18 Rift Green. Get it mixed up and going. Kind of staring at him and thinking that purple might be the way to go. Like Donald said, the yellow off the metallic will look good against the purple. And then it'll allow me to do kind of a reddish orange, maybe on the shoulder pads or on the gloves. We'll have to see here. All right. So much darker green. Going to do that to shade, and then we'll glaze, you know, to kind of mix them. So here I'm just going to block in the darker areas, and there's going to be a huge contrast between this green and the base coat green, and then we'll smooth that out later. So here I can do kind of a cleanup on the eyes a little bit. Let's get under those cheekbones. Get into those ears. contrast going there. Okay, let's work under the lip a little bit. Again, right now, I'm doing pretty rough here. I will smooth it out later. Just more defining areas than I'm doing anything here. But starting to get some depth to that face. Let's get under the nose. Under the top lip there. That'll help make the teeth stand out. Let's actually get under the teeth a little bit too. So tonally, the teeth really stand out more from the lips. It's really starting to map it out now. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Don. Do make it look like a little bit of caked on blood, maybe. Though I don't think I'm going to do any type of blood effects with these. I think I'm going to go super cartoony. I think it favors the theme of the game and the sculpts. Now that might change, but it's just going to be kind of a style choice on my part. So you see, yeah, like how drastic that contrast is. So right now it's super contrasted, but you watch as I paint, that'll start getting smoothed out as we start working those transitions. Right now, I just want to map out where the darks are so that I can work them more later. So now I want to get more definition here on the forehead. Sculpt's got some really nice detail there on the forehead. Let's get that other ear. All right. Now do the back of the head, and then we can work on the rest of the body a little bit here. So other places where I want a little bit of shading and darkness. And again, not super concerned with it being neat and tidy. That's later. Right now I'm just kind of sketching in lights and darks. So we're getting the side of the head there. Now let's get a little definition in the back here. So on the bottom of the ears. Need to get where it meets the neck. Okay. The other crease of the neck back here. There's really not going to be a whole lot of light there. All right, so now you kind of see I've mapped out the darks. We're starting to get So we're getting a feel there. So now I'm going to go back to my mid-tone green and start to work up some of those transitions that I've got in place already. All right, so let's go back. Let's pick up our mid-tone green, which is going to be nice and thin. And let's now work back some of that mid-tone, pushing back and kind of blending in the darker tone. Because of the thinness, I should be able to work those transitions in nicely. That bottom lip. Okay, let's work the cheek now. I don't want to work it too much because I still want to keep some of that darkness, right? That's what's going to make him really stand out. Remember, the way to make your brights brighter is to make your darks darker. So if I really want a bright, cartoonish look to him, the only way I'm going to achieve that is if I got some nice darks in there too. My darks need to be dark, which sometimes can be a little counterintuitive. All right, let's play around with the highlights just on the face so you guys can get a feel for it. So we're going to highlight it using this Toxic Waste Green. This is the Fantasy Lines 25. You can see it's a very yellow. It's been separated. So let's get it mixed up. And let's see if we can't add the detail on the face so you can kind of see how all of it's going to come together when I do the rest of it. Now you can see I've mixed it. It's a very yellow green. The end dried on it. Give me just a second. Still got some dried paint in there. All I'm doing is taking a paper clip there to unclog this guy. A good bit of dried paint down there. There we go. All right. Let's highlight this face. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to block in the highlights, and I'm going to come back with the midtones and work the transitions a little bit. But I'm not going to bother doing that until I know where I want my highlights to be. So there you can see on the upper lip. Let's now do the lower lip. I love this green. It's toxic green. It's a beautiful yellow green. You see, I'm not going real heavy with the highlight, right? Just doing kind of a smaller highlight. Keep it manageable. Let's get that nose defined a little bit more. All right, now cheekbones. Upper brow. Starting to come to life already, isn't he? Long time since I've painted an orc of anything. I do not play Gremlins for Malifaux. I never did orcs in 40k. I've been kind of looking forward to painting me some green skin. Working that bottom lip up a little bit more. This is going to contrast nicely with that darkness that I got at the base of the teeth. I've heard the good word of good old Somer Teeth Jones. Somer is so good in this edition, man. Somer is, for those of you watching, Somer is a master in Malifaux, and might be one of, if not the strongest masters, definitely in Bayou, if not potentially even in all of the game. He is really, really good. Really, really good. If you're a Bayou player not playing Somer, check it out. Because the other part, he's not only really good, but he's a lot of fun, too. So I'm going in with some of the mid-tones here. It's a little too dark for my taste off these cheekbones, so I'm going to lightening it up just a little bit. But you can kind of see where we're going here on this face. Let's add some highlights to the top of this noggin. Do almost like a glaze. See the top of the head, what I'm doing there. Let's do the ears. Alright. Face is darn close to done. I know, I said that I wasn't going to wash his teeth, and I think I'm going to take that back. I want a little bit more, the space between the teeth isn't standing out enough for my taste. So I probably am going to wash that a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is to look where I'm concerned a little bit about the transitions. I think I need to work the transitions along the top of the head a little bit. So let's mix a little bit of our base color and a highlight color. And let's bring in this transition and make this transition a little bit better, a little bit smoother. Something on my brush there. All right, let's go get that. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get that wash for the teeth. Big fan of the Army Painter shades. So let's use the strong tone shade from Army Painter. So big fan of their shades. If you have not used them, don't really use their paints that much, but I am a fan of the shades. Be a little strategic and place this down here. Likely have to go back over it again, but that's all right. I want a little bit more definition in those teeth. It's doing exactly what I was hoping it would do. May not even need to go back over it again because it's falling in, shading exactly the way I wanted it to. Much happier with those teeth there. All right. Now, like I said, this is not going to be, some masterpiece work of mine. This is a game that we're just gonna have fun playing with. So, I just wanted to get some paint on them, make them look halfway decent. Let's get some more highlights on those ears, especially on the inside of the ears. They've got some nice sculpting on the ears. I want that to stand out a little bit more. Yeah. So there you can see what I'm going for on the face, right? Nothing too advanced, nothing too crazy. Let's mess around with the chest a little bit. So let's go back to our shade. Needs to be thinned down just a bit. Let's do some definition on the muscles here. Look how nice that sculpt is. I'm practically just washing these muscles. That's how defined the sculpts are. Oh, you're kind, man. No, I don't mean that to sound that way. What hopefully it does for you is it shows you that because all of this is practice, man. It's just me painting a ton of miniatures, but with some practice and getting some basic concepts down, anybody can do what I'm doing. And there's a lot of people that do it much better than I do it. I mean, the reason, don't get me wrong. I'm happy with that face. I think his face looks good, but it shows you just how simple getting a decent look on that is, and it's all contrast. It's all the lights and the darks. And if I wanted him to pop even more, I could bring those bring up even some more highlights and it would pop even more. And I'm not going to. I'm just going to basically do just a 3-tone highlight shade, so that's what I mean. Let's get some nice definition. I definitely want to work this darkness between the leotard and the skin. So I'm going to make sure that's nice and defined. So, isn't that amazing? Just that alone, what that adds to it. Already, it's starting to look better. Let's get shading on both sides of my guy here. That leotard. This underside is going to be a lot of dark because really no light hitting down there, as well as the underside of his arm here. Get this all defined out. Again, either side of the leotard. This underside is going to be mostly this dark green. F3 Iraq, how long have you been painting? Let's get these muscles defined here. Oh, 5 years? Nice. Do you enjoy painting? I have found that the more you enjoy the process of painting, the more you will practice, and the more you practice, the better off you will get. I feel for people that don't enjoy painting. Let's thin this down a little bit. Other side of this arm here. Inside of this hand, most of the inside of this hand, these fingers here are all going to be this dark green. Off camera, which is very helpful. Okay, need to define the edge there, the edge here, and the separation there. Between the fingers. Well, that's good that you had times when you're not enjoying. Is it just you needed a break from it, or you get frustrated? What causes you to not enjoy it? All I'm doing here is defining the fingers. Really, blacklining is essentially what I'm doing here. There. Look at that. Do the other hand here. Work my way up the arm. Shading him is not taking long at all. Getting those darks defined, and a lot of that is because the sculpt is really nice. Good sculpt makes painting a lot easier. Defined. Remember, I'm going to worry about the transitions here later. Right now, I'm defining and sketching out the lights and the darks first. Same thing I did with the face. Oh, yeah. It's good to paint to a goal, but if it's a rush, it can be a grind. So I totally get that. Totally get that. All right, let's define that back out a little bit. Oh, that's interesting, Donald. So you're noticing a huge difference in the color between when you're painting it and then when it dries? Is that what you mean by it? Or you just have a hard time visualizing the final product once everything comes together? and all the steps are taken. Oh, interesting. I guess maybe I've learned that over time. I'm not sure. Could it be I don't know. It's interesting. I've never had that problem. As far as seeing a huge difference between the color I painted when it was dry. Now, that being said, stepping away from the model and looking at it again with fresh eyes, not painter's eyes, where you're, you know, dialed in and concentrating on it, that is very important. Coming back to different areas. It does tend to darken when it dries, though. I do agree. There, get some nice definition. Let's do the legs. Again, you'll notice, I mean, being very sloppy, right? Really just sketching in these darks. But watch as I go in and I start smoothing it out, you'll see those transitions get smoothed out a little bit. And I do that just with, you know, thin, almost glaze-like consistency. Define the legs out a little bit. I think I'll go purple on the boots as well. Now that I'm looking at this guy. Fun to paint. There we go. Look at there, look at there. All right, let's see if we can't add a little bit more of the mid-tone here. So we're going to go back to my Slimer and let's work back some of that, the transitions on those darks. Work it on his chest first. Again, I don't want to eliminate those darks, but I just want to push them back a little bit and create a bit of a transition with this mid-tone. Because of how thin it is, it'll just give me kind of a very simple glaze transition too, which is nice. Same here on these muscles. You know, from a process standpoint, I'm essentially doing the same thing I did with the face. I'll work that transition a little bit there. mix in a little bit with that dark here. Mid-tone, let's get this a little bit cleaner here. There we go. I actually found a little bit down here. Didn't get any paint on it. A little white peeking through there. Let's work the rest of this arm. Actually, I'm going to go back to the chest because I just found another spot that needs a little bit of love. It. So I think what I'm going to do, let's take a break from the green real quick. I want to see what that purple is going to look like. So let's base coat that purple. Just to see how it feels. So let's go with a little bit of the Nagaroth Knight from GW. Get it mixed up. Let's see what that dark purple looks like in contrast. So also the reason I'm doing this is going to help me get a sense of how much I want to highlight up the skin, right? Because it's hard for me to know how bright the skin is, because it looks kind of dark right now against the white of the leotard. But the leotard's not going to be white, so before I finish, highlighting the green, let's see how bright it looks against the purple. Load up the brush. I thinned it down just a little bit too much. Oh, no question. No question. It does. It changes, and that's where you gotta go back and forth a little bit, right? But yeah, you're gonna notice how much brighter this green looks when I get this dark purple down on it. That's not a problem, though, as much, Doug, as it is just a known quality that you got to get used to. And then again, that's where practice comes in, right? The more models you paint, the more you get good at recognizing and understanding how we perceive color. How a yellow can look green, how a green can look yellow, but depending on the colors that are around it. I think I am digging this purple, by the way. Yeah, purple's gonna look good. I think I should have washed this miniature. I'm already, it's repelling. Some of the paint is getting repelled. And I think it's the release agent. There's some release agent on this, and I should have known better and scrubbed him before I undercoated him. That's my fault. Not the first time I've done it now. Yeah, it is a little hulky. Good point. Well, there's a reason from a color theory standpoint that Hulk's pants are purple. Those, you know, the artists that worked on comic books, they all understood, you know, contrast and complementing colors and what colors work together. That's why you'll find a lot of times when you put together a good color scheme based on, you know, basic color theory, you'll go, wait a minute, this is the same color scheme used for Captain Marvel or for Spider-Man or whatever. You know, it's funny. That's because it's all basic color theory. No question. No question. Speaking of superheroes, I made the mistake of watching about 6 episodes of the Cloak and Dagger series on Hulu. And I'm going to preface this by telling you that I love them as characters. I loved them when I was a kid when those Cloak and Dagger comics came out in the 80s. Late 70s, early 80s, and loved Cloak and Dagger. And you want to talk about some hot garbage? That Hulu show is terrible. And I tried. And it honestly has nothing to do with the original Cloak and Dagger concepts. It really kind of bummed me out. And I hope that Marvel revisits them and does them right. I didn't mind the Runaways. Their take on Runaways was fine. It wasn't great, but it was fine. I was kind of hoping to find the same thing in Cloak and Dagger, and I did not. Cloak and Dagger was just bad. That's too bad, because they're great concept as characters. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So if you haven't seen that, don't bother. But, you know what else I've been watching, and I'm now caught up and waiting for the next episode to come out, is season 5 of The Expanse. And I gotta say, that show, even 5 seasons in, is outstanding. Outstanding show. Some of the best TV I've watched in a long time. And not just some of the best sci-fi TV I've seen in a long time. I mean some of the best TV I've seen in a long time. Both from a story to the script, the dialogue, the acting. So impressed with that show. Oh, if you haven't watched The Expanse, you have to do it. So good. It's on Amazon Prime Video. And it's amazing. Does not disappoint. Even 5 seasons in, I am not disappointed. And that doesn't happen very often, to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, dude, you're talking to one of the biggest fans of Clone Wars and Rebels. I thought both were great. Both were great. And gave us a nice preview of what Filoni had in him. Not every episode was great, but just overall, they both told great stories. Quite honestly, too, I think that the Clone Wars made the prequels better. I like the prequels more after watching Clone Wars. You haven't finished Clone Wars and Rebels yet, Donald? For shame. Shame. Have you watched The Expanse, Donald? Just the first season. I'll tell you what's crazy about The Expanse is I think it's better as the series continues. So I highly recommend you go and watch second, third, fourth, and I think we're about halfway into the fifth now. I think we're 5-6 episodes in. Phenomenal show. Phenomenal show. Give me just a second. Sorry, sparing you the conversation with my wife on Alexa. Yeah, I think the purple works. And see how brighter the green skin gets? So now, do I go purple on the boots? What do I do here? Maybe purple on the gloves? I think I'll go purple on the gloves. Go a different color on the elbow pads. And maybe black on the boots. Let's see what purple looks like on the gloves. Haunted Miniatures, how are ya? I'm intimidated painting with you watching me, man. Makes me nervous. You're actually good at this. Appreciate you coming by. Painting up some Rumbleslam from TTCombat. I'm good. Good. We've been chatting about sci-fi shows. Have you ever seen The Expanse? Classic All Colors, 100% correct. Oh, the reason I brought it up is I'm now caught up on season 5. There's several. They're not all released yet. I think there's four or 5 episodes in, and oh, it's so good. Even season 5 is good, and I really didn't know if they would have a place to go, and they found a place to go. And I am amazed. I'm amazed at how many checks they wrote and ended up cashing in season 5. They did a nice job of laying down some seeds in the first seasons and that are just now starting to come to bloom. F3 Arc, man, these Rumbleslam things are nice. Nice sculpts, and the game, I have not played the game yet, but it looks fun, and the starter set for it comes with a nice neoprene game board like mat and stuff. It's impressive. They've always done good stuff though, man. TTCombat puts out good stuff. Yeah, I think I like purple for the gloves. And I'm thinking I'm going to match the shoulder or the elbow pads to the boots now. I don't know what I'm going to do for them, but I think I do like the purple. Oh, you know what? I can't decide. I don't mind binge watching, but I don't know. It's kind of nice to build the anticipation, I guess, a little bit too. I know what you're saying, though. I was like, oh shit, I'm caught up. I was ready to watch like 3 or 4 more episodes. I was ready to finish it today. So yeah, I can't decide what I like better. I like that some of my shows do it that way and some don't, I guess. See, the problem is, Haunted, is I don't watch regular TV anymore. So I can't think of a show that I've watched like broadcast. Speaking of podcasts, I released on Tuesday. I released a new episode where I had some experts on play. And I've gotten a lot of nice messages from people. It's a very different type of episode than I do. These aren't gamers. The guests weren't. I heard some nice comments about it. It'll come out for everybody on Tuesday. I wasn't quite sure what people would think of it. Give me a second and I will, and just so you know, Wookie Gunner, I don't know, it's possible that Twitch might kill those links. Can't remember if the Twitch chat hides links or not. So just so you know, just in case. F3 can tell you whether they're coming through or not. They're coming through for me, but I don't know if that's just because I'm, the guy that runs the channel. No, it's not the one with Brian. Different one. Oh, they do? Oh, good. It must be a setting, because I've been on other Twitch chats where they get killed, so it must be a setting that I would have to put that they do get killed, which obviously I don't have set, which is good. Give me a second, F3, and I'll show you some of the other sculpts that come in the starter set. They're nice. Let me just quickly finish up this glove. This guy's fun. I'm really enjoying painting him. Kind of nice to take a break from super detailed. Definitely needed a break from painting the 40K stuff I've been painting. I thought this would be a perfect, nice little break for me. And Donald loves him some TTCombat. They do a good job, though, Donald. You got good taste, man. They're a good company, too. Definitely put out some quality stuff. And Donald and I are going to try to sneak in a learning game of Carnival on Tabletop Simulator, and I'll stream that. You can see, hopefully learn me, and we'll try to do that here in the next couple days, depending on how my schedule works. Anxious to learn it. All right, that's enough of the purple. There. That's somewhat, you know what? I don't know how long the stream's been going. Hour and a half, maybe. We got a lot covered there. We finished the head. Blocked out the darks and some of the mid-tones on the body. And kind of laid out the purple. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right, let me go get those other sculpts that come in that starter set. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back. So, let me zoom. Well, I can show it on here. So here's the Neoprene Mat that comes with the starter set. Gorgeous. Nice little, ring. I was very surprised that you get neoprene in it. And for the money, I just in general, I was very impressed with what I got here. So, get some really nice custom dice. You can see there, real nice dice, very thematic, stars for pips. The mechanics on the game are very, very simple, very, very simple. And that's a good thing, not a bad thing. If I want to play a complicated game, I'll play a complicated game. For this, I want a simple game. And that's what it is. So, now I put these in cases, but you can see the cards. Real simple. You can see which dice you use for attack and defense. Just like any good modern game, everything you need to know is on the cards itself. So this is the human team here. So you got hobbits, halflings, and kind of your blonde guy, your human grappler, another halfling brawler, and then you got your troll, and here's the guy we're painting. So say they did red, classic orc GW orc colors, even with the look at that, they did the checkered and the artwork, the checkered on the bottom. That's funny. A real call out to GW on that one. There's the other guy, and then you get the goblins, which I'm super excited about painting them. So, and then you get all your basic action cards, which is really nice. So, anywho, let's look at the other sculpts. Oh, how nice is this? Acrylic tokens come in the box, which I think is great. But let's take a quick look. Let me put the top on my wet palette real quick. So here's kind of the big human guy. You can see he's got kind of the ogre teeth there. But how nice is that sculpt? I mean, that's a nice sculpt. That's going to be fun to paint. I'm going to enjoy painting him. So here's another one of our orcs to go with the guy we've been painting. Well, here's the big bad boy of the trolls and the goblins. And I think in the art, let me check the art for him. He's blue in the art, kind of like an ice troll. I don't know if I want to go blue. I think I might do him green. And then instead of crystals coming out of his shoulders, I might do like stone. So like grays. But yeah, I mean look how nice that sculpt is, Haunted. You'll appreciate this as a painter. I mean, I am really looking forward to painting this model. It is a pretty model and a beautiful sculpt. So here's the human, and again, just a damn good sculpt. Lots of definition. He's got the feel. I'll have fun painting him. Let's grab the Blondie. Here's Blondie. And let's pull out the Gremlins and the Halflings. So here's my little Halflings. Here, and they even got, I don't know if you can see it or not, but they even got the larger feet. I really like the face on the guy on the right. And then let's look at the goblins. The goblins are really nice sculpts too. That's just thematic and fun. Now let's look at the size difference, which is going to be fun. I mean, look how tiny the goblins are compared. So it really is going to give that kind of fun wrestle feel. I'm really excited about this game. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I'm going to, see it as a super deep game. I think it's going to be just a fun game to throw down with, something even lighter than Marvel Crisis Protocol. Other thing I thought was interesting, they come with clear bases, which you don't really see every day. So this is the base for the big guy, right? Do not use super glue on that because it'll fog up the clear base, but it comes with everything you need. Mighty Madcaps are the same casino as the orcs, so you could do mushroom stalk theme on the troll. Oh, that's interesting. Now, you know what I bought? Because I saw it on sale. I bought the Cold Bloods. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I got the Lizardmen box too. Haven't opened it yet, but I think they're going to be fun to do as well. So, anywho, stay tuned. Ideally, between now and March, I'd like to get all of these guys painted up so they're ready for the March camping trip, but we'll see. Well, guys, that like I said, that was a nice little start there to one paint session. We got some good paint on them. Let's get them focused. We made nice little progress on them. I like the purple, I like the green, so you guys get credit for that. And it was good chatting with everybody. So take care.